Listen to me. You're not waiting on motivation. You're waiting on a decision, and that's the problem. You keep hesitating, overthinking, talking yourself out of your greatness like it's optional. It's not. Growth doesn't knock politely. It shows up disguised as discomfort, as challenge, as discipline. And if you're not willing to meet it head on, then don't complain about staying the same. Let me say this clearly. You will never feel ready to level up. Not today, not tomorrow, not when you're less tired, not when your schedule clears. That moment you're waiting for, it's not coming. You have to force yourself into the next version of you. You have to pull yourself up when it would be easier to lie down. Because comfort is a trap. It whispers just 5 more minutes, while your future slips through your fingers. Here's the truth nobody tells you. Your potential is not passive. It doesn't rise to the surface because you want it to. It gets built brick by brick when you choose to do the hard things even when every cell in your body screams not to. Force isn't the enemy, it's the spark, the muscle, the move that breaks your limits wide open. Stop trying to be perfect before you start. Stop needing to feel confident before you take action. You want to know how people change. They act first. They move before the feeling shows up. They force momentum. And then momentum takes over. Look in the mirror and get brutally honest. Are you showing up like the person you say you want to become? Because if the answer is no, that's your signal, not to shame yourself, but to get moving, to break the loop, to force one different choice, one uncomfortable step, and stack that into progress. The biggest myth you've been sold is that motivation comes first, that you need to feel inspired, fired up, focused before you can do the hard things. That you need some magical burst of energy to start. That's nonsense. Real change, real growth. It doesn't wait for you to feel like it. It demands that you move anyway. You think successful people wake up every day craving a workout, ready to grind, excited to eat clean, or jump into uncomfortable conversations. No, they don't. They've just stopped negotiating with their excuses. They don't wait for motivation. They act first. That's the entire secret. That's the whole formula. You act first, and the motivation follows. Not the other way around. You see, your brain is wired to protect you from discomfort. The second you hesitate, the second you overthink, your brain floods you with reasons to stay where it's safe. I'm too tired. I don't know enough. What if I fail? That's not truth. It's your comfort zone trying to survive. And if you keep listening, you will stay stuck, circling the same life, blaming everyone but yourself. The trick is to interrupt the pattern. When you feel hesitation kick in, act. Don't wait for motivation. Don't analyze your feelings. Just move. Just take one step. Just say yes. Just start. That's the gap between who you are and who you want to become. The willingness to do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. Especially when you don't feel like it. Let me make this personal. Think back to every single breakthrough moment in your life. The time you stood up for yourself. The time you pushed past fear. The time you got back up after failure. Were you motivated in those moments? No, you were desperate. You were raw. You were backed into a corner, and you moved anyway. That's what change looks like. Not polished, not planned. Just real, gritty action in the face of resistance. And guess what happens when you do it over and over again? Your brain learns. It learns that you move forward no matter what. That you can be tired and still take action. That you can be scared and still step up. That you can doubt yourself and still go all in. That's how confidence is built. That's how momentum is born. You don't sit around and wait for clarity. You earn clarity by taking action. You don't wait to feel powerful. You train your mind to become powerful through repetition. So if you're stuck, if you feel like you're falling behind, if you're frustrated with yourself, it's not because you're lazy. It's because you've been lied to. You don't need to feel ready. You need to act before you're ready. One small move, one choice, one decision to push past the inertia. That's where it begins. That's where it always begins. Force yourself out of bed. Force yourself into the gym. Force yourself to sit down and build your dream. Force yourself to show up, to speak up, to take that call, to write that page, to send that email, to chase that goal. Not because you're motivated, because you're committed. This is the key that most people never use. You've been waiting for permission. This is it. You give it to yourself. Move first. The motivation, it will catch up. The results, they will follow. The growth, it will become inevitable. You want to change your life. Then stop waiting. Act now. Force it. Because action doesn't follow motivation. Motivation follows action. Discomfort isn't a problem. It's a signal, a sign that you're standing at the edge of growth. But most people misread it. They hit discomfort and assume something's wrong. This feels hard. Maybe I'm not ready. Maybe I should stop. Maybe this isn't for me. No, that moment, the one where it burns, where you're sweating, doubting, scared, that's the exact moment you're doing something right. That's when the work starts to matter. You cannot level up in the same room where you've been playing it safe. Growth isn't built in comfort. It's built in resistance, in pain, in pushing through what you don't want to do. And here's the truth. Every version of you that's better than the one you are right now is buried underneath a pile of uncomfortable choices. Want more discipline? You've got to wake up earlier. Want more confidence? You have to risk being embarrassed. Want more success? You're going to have to face rejection over and over again. Discomfort is the gym for your character. It tears you down so you can rebuild stronger. When your muscles hurt after a workout, you don't assume you're doing it wrong. You know it's a sign that it's working. The same applies to your goals, your mindset, your habits. If it's uncomfortable, that's feedback that you're breaking a pattern. It means your brain and your body are adjusting to a new standard. But the problem is, most people treat discomfort like a stop sign. They pull back, they delay, they run to the nearest distraction, and in doing so, they miss the entire point. You can't become unrecognizable by staying familiar. You have to stay in the fire long enough to let the old version of you burn away. That's what discomfort does. It's not there to stop you. It's there to transform you. There's no shortcut. You want something you've never had. Then prepare to do what you've never done. Expect your nerves to fire. Expect your chest to tighten. Expect your inner critic to scream. That's not a reason to stop. That's your old self dying off. That's your mind throwing its last punches before it evolves. You push through that, and something changes. Not just on the outside, but inside of you. That's when a new level of grit gets installed. And if you really pay attention, you'll realize something powerful. Discomfort doesn't last. It shows up fast and it leaves fast. But it only leaves if you don't retreat. You push forward long enough and the discomfort fades. In its place, momentum, progress, confidence, clarity. You've just got to earn it. And you earn it by not flinching when it hurts. The version of you that lives on the next level of your life is not going to arrive by invitation. You have to fight for it. You have to be willing to be uncomfortable longer than the average person. While they're quitting, you're growing. While they're avoiding pain, you're mastering it. That's the difference. It's not talent. It's not intelligence. It's how you respond when things stop feeling easy. So from this moment on, make a decision. Don't run from the discomfort. Use it. Respect it. Recognize it for what it is. Your signal to rise. Because if it feels hard, if it feels messy, if it feels like everything in you wants to back down, good, that's the cost of leveling up. Discomfort isn't the enemy, it's the proof you're on the right path. Your identity isn't some fixed label you're born with. It's not something you find, it's something you build, and every single day you're building it with one thing: your decisions, not your dreams, not your potential, not your intentions. What you choose to do repeatedly is carving the shape of who you are becoming. Let that sink in. You don't become disciplined by talking about goals. You become disciplined by choosing to act on them when it's inconvenient. You don't become confident by reading about confidence. You become confident by making the decision to speak up when fear says stay silent. Every decision you make is either casting a vote for the old you or the future you. And the only way that future becomes real is if you choose it again and again and again. Your identity isn't a feeling. It's not about whether you feel like the kind of person who works hard or the kind of person who follows through. That's irrelevant. You want to feel different, then start deciding differently. Every time you decide to take action when it's uncomfortable, you reinforce the mindset of someone who doesn't back down. When you choose to show up instead of make excuses, you're telling yourself, this is who I am now. And that matters, because the more you repeat the right decisions, the more automatic they become. At first, yes, it takes force, it takes grit. You have to fight against your habits, your impulses, your self-doubt. But with repetition, those choices start to hardwire into your identity. You stop thinking about it and start being it. Not because you faked it, but because you built it. So if you're tired of being inconsistent, if you're tired of setting goals and falling short, don't go looking for more motivation. Look at your decisions. What are you choosing when no one's watching? What are you choosing when it's raining, when it's late, when you're exhausted? Because that's where identity is shaped. In the quiet, uncomfortable moments when you choose the hard thing instead of the easy out. And make no mistake, every small decision counts. You don't need one big leap. You need 100 small wins stacked on top of each other. Wake up early once, hit the workout once, say no to the distraction once, and then do it again. Those little choices add up faster than you think. Every time you say, this is what I do now, and follow through, you're reshaping the standard for your life. People wait for identity to hit them like a lightning bolt. They think, once I become that person, I'll start acting like it. But it's the reverse. You act like it first, even when it feels fake, even when it feels hard. You act like the person you want to be until it becomes second nature. And eventually, you look back and realize you are that person, not because it magically happened, but because you decided to become it, one decision at a time. You want a better life, make better decisions. You want a stronger mindset. Choose thoughts and actions that align with it. You want to break cycles, then break them with one bold choice, then another and another. Don't underestimate the power of a single moment. One decision can pivot everything. So stop waiting to feel like the person you dream about. Start becoming them, and you do it by showing up again and again until it's no longer a decision. It's just who you are. Because identity doesn't follow emotion, it follows action, and action is a choice, always. Stop looking for progress like it's hidden under a rock or buried in some secret formula. Progress is not something you find. It's something you manufacture. You build it with your own hands, your own mind, your own habits, day in, day out. There is no blueprint coming to rescue you, no magic moment, no perfect timing. You don't stumble into progress. You create it. Most people sit around waiting for the conditions to be right, waiting for clarity, for confidence, for someone to guide them. They treat progress like a reward you get when the universe decides you're ready. That mindset is exactly why they stay stuck, because progress doesn't come to those who wait. It comes to those who work relentlessly, repeatedly, without applause, without permission. Let me tell you something powerful. You are capable of producing results even when nothing around you is perfect. In fact, most growth happens in chaos. Most breakthroughs are born in the mess. When everything feels uncertain and you still choose to show up, that's when progress is forged. Not when you feel good. Not when things go smoothly, when it's tough and you keep moving anyway. Progress is a factory, not a miracle. You show up to the factory every single day. You punch in whether you feel like it or not. You lift the weight, make the call, write the page, build the discipline. no matter what. And guess what? Some days you'll produce gold. Other days, you'll feel like you made nothing but mistakes. But that's the process. That's manufacturing. Not every moment is glamorous, but every moment is required. And here's where most people get it wrong. They measure progress only by the outcome. Did I lose the weight? Did I get the raise? Did I go viral? And when those things don't happen fast enough, they quit. What they don't see is that progress was happening the whole time. Every rep you push through, every decision you make in silence, every time you resist the urge to quit, you're stacking bricks. Bricks that will build your foundation. You may not see it today, but you will. One day, that wall will stand tall. And it will be because you built it, brick by brick. So understand this, there is no progress without consistency. Talent doesn't matter if you don't show up. Intelligence means nothing if you don't apply it. Ambition is useless without execution. You have to manufacture progress through action. Intentional, repeated action. Even when it's boring, even when it's slow, even when it looks like it's not working, and don't romanticize struggle. This isn't about hustle for the sake of pain. This is about learning that the life you want will not be handed to you. It has to be earned, created, built from nothing but belief, effort, and discipline. That's what real progress feels like, not glamorous, not easy, but deeply powerful. Every time you choose to act when it would be easier to make excuses, you're creating momentum. Every time you move, you're signaling to your future, I'm not waiting, I'm building. And that message compounds. Over time, your choices turn into habits, your habits into character, and your character into outcomes. So stop hoping for things to get better. Stop waiting for life to hand you a breakthrough. Start building it. One uncomfortable, imperfect, relentless step at a time. Progress is not a mystery. It's not luck. It's not fate. It's sweat. It's grit. It's commitment. You don't find progress. You manufacture it. And once you understand that, nothing can stop you. Waiting is the fastest way to kill momentum, to kill dreams, to kill growth. Every time you say, I'll do it later, you're not postponing the task, you're postponing the person you could become. Waiting is seductive. It feels safe. It convinces you that there will be a better time, a more convenient moment, some future version of yourself who will be more disciplined, more ready, more capable. But that version of you never shows up. Because change doesn't come to those who wait. It comes to those who move. You've been waiting for the perfect moment. Let me be brutally honest with you. It's not coming. Life doesn't owe you the right time. If you're sitting around waiting for clarity, motivation, less stress, more time, guess what? You'll be waiting for the rest of your life. The truth is, the conditions for change will never feel ideal. That's what makes it real. You change in the chaos, in the middle of the storm, while you're scared, unsure, overwhelmed. That's when you take action, and that's when you rise. Waiting creates a dangerous illusion of progress. You feel productive thinking about your goals, planning them, dreaming about them, but none of that creates real movement. Action does. Execution does. You don't get results from intentions. You get them from decisions followed by discipline. And the longer you wait, the deeper you sink into the cycle of overthinking, doubting, and delaying. You know what waiting really is. It's fear in disguise, fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of discomfort. Fear that you'll try and still come up short. But let me tell you something important. Nothing is more painful than staying stuck in a life that doesn't reflect your potential. Nothing is more destructive than knowing you could be more, but you keep choosing less. Not because you can't, but because you keep waiting. And don't confuse stillness with patience. Patience is about endurance. Waiting is about avoidance. When you wait, you're letting fear lead. When you act, you take back control. Even if it's messy, even if it's small, even if it's one awkward step forward, you're moving, and movement is what creates change, not thinking, not hoping, not planning, moving. Time doesn't make things easier. Action does. You think that 6 months from now you'll be stronger, more ready, more stable. But 6 months from now, you'll be the exact same unless you do something different today. There is no future version of you that's going to magically appear and save your life. You are the one, right now, this version, as imperfect, tired, uncertain as you feel. You are enough to start, and starting is all that matters. It's not about making a giant leap. It's about choosing not to wait one more day. You don't need to solve everything today. You just need to break the pattern of hesitation. Choose movement over stillness, courage over comfort, action over avoidance. Every moment you choose to move instead of wait, you take the power back. Waiting is the enemy of change because it keeps you trapped in who you are, instead of becoming who you're meant to be. Don't let another week pass filled with someday. Don't let another opportunity slip through your fingers because you needed more time to feel ready. Decide, commit, move. If you're tired of your own excuses, if you're frustrated with your own lack of progress, then this is the moment, not tomorrow, not next Monday, not after the next crisis. This. Right now, you don't need a new plan. You need a decision to stop waiting, and once you make it, really make it, nothing can stop you because change doesn't wait for you. So don't wait for it, move now.